Hey guys, it's Bry. It's the 14th. We're 2 weeks into January. That puts us 2 weeks closer to spring. Hopefully 7 or 8 weeks in Connecticut here we'll be able to all be out detecting. I know there's a couple guys still posting reports, getting out in the woods on their cellar holes where it's not too frozen yet. I'm a little green with envy, but I'll have to get my own cellar holes. Figured I'd post up a video, show you a project that I did on my Garrett Ace 350 back in the summer. Even though I didn't use the detector for more than a few months, within the first 2 months I was already getting sick of where the headphone jack is, right on the head of the unit. And you know, obviously it's out there swinging around. It's great at snagging trees in the woods. I mean, just saying hello to everybody out there in the woods. I got sick of it, especially when the volume control was getting bumped. I had to put a piece of tape over that to stop that from happening. So my little inspiration came from another incident out in the woods with it when the arm cuff fell off the darn thing 2 months into owning it. So check that screw. It screws in from the bottom of the arm cuff up. Make sure you tighten that up once in a while. Otherwise you're going to lose it out in the woods. I bring tape and other junk with me just in case that happens. So at least I was able to finish my day. So the hardware store, I kind of had my little aha moment. Figured out what I wanted to do. So I went and rounded up some supplies and my relocation for the headphone jack on the my Ace 350 to the rear of the arm cuff. And I'll show you that in a minute here. But I would like to say thank you very much to Charlie, Digger Charlie from Stealth Diggers, for posting up and having some fun with the box I sent the crew. You guys are a friggin' riot. I don't know what to say. Other than chicks do like it. They really do, I'm telling you. You just have to actually give them some instead of noshing it all down in the woods in 30 minutes. For those that were wondering, the inspiration for that actually came from episode number 59 on Stealth Diggers, which was their cleanup party, in which we saw Jay drink the juice that his, I forget what he was soaking in. It wasn't a coin. I forget what it was. He was soaking in there. Drank the old relic juice. Bleh. So I happen to have a couple beers here at home that were made by the Relic Brewing Company. So that, and I sent them some of my homemade apple pie and a couple other crazy beers that weren't filled fully at the factory, didn't get labeled or anything, but they were still perfectly fine for a little fun. Thank you very much, Charlie. In fact, I got a bunch of subscribers, including a guy I used to ice fish with who recognized my screen name from a fishing website. Hi, Alan. So thank you again. It means a lot to everybody subscribing to the new guy. Hopefully I'll get some more videos up with something to do. So I guess we'll get on with it. I won't hold you guys up too long. On with the show. I guess one of the other projects I can post up here real quick was my fishing rod repurposing project, which really wasn't all much of a project. I don't fish as much as I used to, so some of the rods I had in here I had sold, or I think I threw up in a closet somewhere, so I just relocated the ones in here up to my rod rack upstairs, which had some slots. If you recognize these are the Cabela's hardwood ones, 6 rod holders. These are great. I love them. Do a great job holding the gear up. The only thing I did to get the detectors to sit in here was went down to the hardware store, and they sell these, I don't know, brass plated like plant holders, plant hangers, and I just bent one in 90 degrees and, you know, bought a pair of them. 2 pair I should say, and I got room for both the detectors up here, which is great. Now they don't have to sit against the wall, or there's no room in the closet for them, unfortunately. That's where all my ice fishing stuff is. So just a nice little quickie project, something else I did to get clutter off the floor. And the picture I actually I took a visit to the Historical Society here in town not too long ago, and they were selling maps of towns. That one's probably recognizable from MapWorks. So I threw that in there in the background too, just to give it a little more diggity, yeehaw. So, alright, on with my modification. Alright guys, here's what I did to my Ace 350, and obviously this will work with more than just the Ace 350. All these Garretts that use the same stem design, this whole project will work. Parts list is pretty cheap and pretty small. I think I only spent 10 bucks total replacing everything, including that lost arm cuff screw. You're going to want stereo, 1/4-inch headphone connector. This is a 90-degree. It's got a little clamshell style to it, so once you're done soldering it, you just screw it together. I didn't use the 1/4" headphone jack wire because I didn't want to drill a huge hole, and it would have been a tough job snaking it all the way through back here. And like I said, you have to drill a real big hole. So this is 1/8" basically headphone jack cabling. It's got all the stereo as well. So it's got all the wires I already need inside that cabling. The only thing I had to do was, you can see where I had to thicken it up here so the clamp had something to bite into so the wires didn't get yanked. So I got a few layers of shrink wrap on there, and I think a little electrical tape to hold it all in place. Same thing where the wire passes through. I think I forgot on that end, so that's just some electrical tape. Oops. If you do want to run your Ace series or whatever Garrett without the headphones, you have to unplug this end because the switch between your internal speaker and your headphones is on this end. If you unplug it just on the back, you're still not going to have any speaker, so just remember to do that. Initial idea had been to keep from potentially voiding the warranty, was to run the wire underneath the foam for the grip, but it was too much of a pain in the butt to lift that foam and try and snake the wire through. I gave up after a couple tries and said screw it, drill holes. So down here you can see the nylon lock nut that I used, along with the slightly longer bolt that was lost out in the woods. Like I said, I do believe that the bolt screws into the bottom and the nut would be on the top side of the cuff underneath the foam. So that's why it was lost in the woods. I'm doing it in the reverse. The nut now goes through the top of the cuff to the bottom, and lock nuts here. Headphone connector, plug is a 1/4" inline headphone jack. Same thing, I had to build up the wiring on this end a little bit so the had something to clamp onto, and the rubber insulated clamp. These are typically used for anything like brake and fuel lines or whatever. I'll post up a picture of the parts, like I said, so you guys have an idea what I use. So once you're all said and done, plug your headphones in. And I left enough hanging off the back there so you can see that the cord can pivot freely 360 degrees off the back there. It's not restricted by the lower cuff wings, so you can have a lot of freedom there. If you set it down, throw it around, swinging it out in the woods, you're good to go. This is very rugged. It works very nicely. I didn't have any problems, anything under here snagging or anything like that. Nice little mod, quick little mod if you're handy. Give it a try. If not, send me your whole Garrett over the winter. I'm bored. I'll do it up for you. Send me some beer too. So hope everybody enjoyed it. Not the coolest project in the world, but a little something to get you through the winter blues. And I don't know what I'll post up next the next week or so. Maybe a little electrolysis and some of the other crap I found out in the woods. I'm going to try it on. So thanks everybody for watching, and good luck and happy hunting.